girlies! So I'm going to show you today how to do your makeup for the show. Now you want to start with a clean face, moisturize it, wash it, do whatever you need to do, and let it sit and dry, and we're going to start off with the eyes. Now you can start with any simple palette that has dark browns and light browns. The palette that I'm going to be using is from CoverGirl. It's super cheap, it's like $10 at any drugstore, and it just has a range of colors. The lightest is here and the darkest is down here. It has both colors that has glitter in it and colors that don't, so we can use those both. Start off with any brush that you have, even if it's just like a little applicator, that's fine. And you want to take the lightest color, or the second lightest color, that does not have any sparkles in it. It's nice and matte, which means there are no sparkles. And you're just going to take that color and apply it all over your lid to give a nice base for you to work on. Once you've completed this step, you can go in with this type of color. It's called a transition color, and it's going to go in the crease of your eye, so where your eye naturally bends or creases. And you're going to take that color and you're going to put it on your brush, and you're just going to work it into that crease right there. And you want to start off lighter and progressively get darker, so if you don't think it's dark enough, you can add in more. Okay, now that we have that second color on, we're going to go in with a darker color, something like this, and we're going to do the exact same thing, just a little bit more centered towards the outside of the eye. So we're not going to go all the way into the inside, we're just going to stay on this half, the outer, like, 1/3 of the eye. You want to work that in right there. And the key with doing the smoky eye is blending, because you don't want any harsh lines. You want it to be nice and blended. Now that you have that color on, it's often really helpful to have another brush on hand that you can blend with. So you want to make sure it's a clean brush, and you're just gonna do little circles around the eye to make sure everything is blended in. So I'm just gonna go over that line right there and smooth everything out. Okay, now grabbing that first brush that you're using, there's this really dark color, and a little bit goes a long way, so we're just going to take a little bit of that color right there, and you just want to put it right in this inner corner right here, or the outer corner, sorry, and you just want to put it on and blend that into the crease that's going up, so it really gives that definition in the outer corner, which gives it the smoky look. I'm doing the same thing on the other eye, putting it right in that outer corner and blending it into our transition shade. Okay, now that we have both of the outer corners on, we're going to take our blending brush again and just blend everything in so we get rid of all those harsh lines. Okay, now oftentimes in this type of palette there's a shimmery color like this that we can take and put on the lid to add more of glitter for the stage. It looks really good with the lights, and it can cover up some of your mistakes sometimes. So we're gonna take sometimes it helps to wet the brush because it keeps the eyeshadow on longer, or you can just use the product as is. And you just want to pat that on your brush, and then you're gonna pack it onto the lid. Now if you don't have a sparkly color in your palette, you can just leave this part out and just leave it as is, but it can really add a lot to the look. And you're just gonna pack it on more towards the inside of the eye and less towards the outside. Another step that you can take, going back with this color, the second color that we used, you can take that color and you can apply it underneath the eye to add a little bit more dimension. Okay, so now moving on to eyeliner. Eyeliner can be very tricky sometimes, and it can get a little frustrating. I'm going to start with the bottom of the eyes. This part can, if it is not in your abilities, you can skip this part, but it really does help your eyes to pop on stage. So I just pull down the bottom of my eye and I run it across. This is a pencil eyeliner. You never want to use liquid on the inside, the waterline, because that will be a mess. But you just want to put it on the inside of your eye, on the waterline of your eye. And it helps your eyes to pop on stage. Now that I have that done, I am going to take a liquid eyeliner now, and I'm going to do the top eyeliner, or the wing. Now, the wing can be a little tricky sometimes, so if you want to skip this step, you can, and you can just do a regular liner. And you're going to want to take I use a felt tip, because that's easier for me. It just looks like this. And I lay it flat on the eye, and you can just dot it on. You don't want to try and write with it. It's easier if you just lay it down flat on the eye and create little marks to help you, give you a guideline. Now once you've reached this stage, you can either leave it as it is, or you can continue on with the wing. I'm going to do that now. The advantage of the wing is it gives you a more dramatic look on stage, and it can help define your eyes just like the waterline does, and it helps to bring out your eyes a lot. It's a simple look, but it looks really good on stage. And I do not have any eyelashes today because I need to go to Target and get some more, but this is where you would apply eyelashes, but for now I'm just going to do mascara because that's what I have. After you've done the top lashes, it can really help to do the bottom lashes because it once again brings out your eyes. And you don't have to do it as much as you did for the top lashes. Oftentimes, if you just kind of dab the mascara brush onto the bottom lashes, it can coat them very easily. You don't have to do much for those. You don't want them to look clumpy. So just by dabbing on them, it can give you the look that you need. So now that our eyes are done, we're going to move on to the face. Now, oftentimes the face can be the most important because you don't want to look washed out on stage under all of the lights. So, if possible, this is not a mandatory step, but having a primer can really help to keep your face on for the whole show. I always try to use one. But if you do not have one, there's no need to go out and buy one. But if you do have one, that can be helpful. And you want to, for this you can use your fingers and just really blend it into the skin, and you're gonna rub it until it gets tacky. It will help the foundation to stay on longer. An important part of the whole face makeup is making sure that it blends into your neck, because you don't want to have sharp lines like right here. You don't want the foundation, your face to be orange and then your neck to just be a totally different color. That will look very bad. So you want to make sure that you blend onto your neck, whatever you're using. And now I'm going to start with a foundation. I am using the L'Oreal True Match Lumi. You can just take it and, depending on what kind you have, just pump 1 to 3 pumps, depending on how big your face is, onto your hand. And you can either use your fingers for this again, or you can take a brush. And you just want to take it and apply it to your face. Get the product where it needs to be. Again, don't forget to blend into the neck, because we don't want any Oompa Loompa faces. And I usually take whatever's left on my hand and just kind of rub it into my neck. And this part you can do a number of things. You can continue using the brush to blend the makeup. You can use your fingers and rub it into your skin. Or you can use a beauty sponge or a beauty blender to pat in the makeup to the skin. This is my favorite technique because it really helps the makeup to stay all night, so that you don't have to worry about it coming off during the show. But it's not a necessary step. You can just use a brush or your fingers. For stage makeup, it's very important that you have a full coverage foundation, because you want to make sure that your skin doesn't get washed out on stage. So you want to make sure that the foundation that you buy is full coverage. Now that we've gotten this far, I'm going to take a powder. I'm also using the L'Oreal True Match. It's just a powder, and it helps to set the makeup and make sure it's not slipping and sliding everywhere. So you can take any brush. I prefer a fluffier brush because it helps apply, and you're just gonna sweep it in the places where you want to keep that makeup stuck. I often add it in under the eyes and on my nose. Any places that you know you're prone to sweat are super important, but you really just want to get it all over the face. You can do a combination of sweeping and patting, depending on the area. But it's very important that you get a good layer all over the face. Again, sweeping it onto the neck. Okay, now we are done with the foundation portion. We are going to use a concealer of some type. This is a step you can skip, but I would recommend it. And the areas that concealer, it brightens up certain areas of the face. So for example, I like to do it on my under eyes, in the center of my nose, right above my lip, center of my chin, and a little triangle on my forehead, because this really just emphasizes the place that the light is going to hit the face, and it makes you look a little bit better. Again, you can use your fingers, a brush, or a beauty sponge for this. I'm just going to pat that into my skin. Concealer can also be used to cover up any blemishes you have or imperfections in the skin. And then again, I'm going to take my powder in that brush that I had before, and I'm just going to sweep that over the places that I just applied the concealer. Good. Now I'm going to go in with a blush. I like to use a lighter blush because it makes me look less pale. And you're just gonna want to take that, and I like to make like a little smirky smiley face like this, and you just want to put it on the cheeks and back. You don't want to just make a circle right here because that'll look silly. You want to pull it back into the back of the face towards the ear. Again, this is another place where you really want to blend because you don't want to end up looking too heavy on the blush. Blush is important for stage makeup because it keeps you from getting all washed out, but you don't want it to be super sharp. You just want to keep it nice and blended in, give you nice color. Another thing I like to do is, this is not something that you have to do, but this is something that I like to do, is take a nice bronzer. It's just kind of like the transition shade that we used, but it's meant for the face, and I like to take it, it's kind of like a 3. You want to go up here and then down here onto the neck, and you want to blend it into the neck again. So you come up in this temple zone up here, and you want to take that in there along the hairline. And this part you have to be sure to blend, because or else you will look like an Oompa Loompa. You want to blend that into your hairline, and then bring it down along the hairline again, going in that 3 shape. And you come down with the product underneath where you put that blush. And this will give you a nice contoured look. Again, this step is very optional. You do not need to do this, but it can help you look more slim. And blend that down into your neck. And repeat on the other side. So take it up in the temple zone. Drag it down along the hairline. And bring it in underneath where we applied that blush earlier. You want to make sure the whole time you're staying very blended and not leaving any harsh lines. And take that down along your neck just to make sure everything is nice and blended. Another step you can take with this same bronzer is if you want to contour your nose. You do not have to do that. I personally don't like to do that because I feel like it makes my nose look too cakey. The next step I'm going to take is I'm going to fill in my eyebrows. If you naturally have good eyebrows, you can just skip this part. But I just like to use, this literally cost me $3 at Ulta, and it has 2 colors, a lighter color and a darker color. I usually go for the darker color just because my hair is kind of darker. It could really go either way, but I like to go for the bolder look. And you want to take a brush and you want to get some product on your brush, and eyebrows can be tricky because every eyebrow is a different shape, but these spoolies can be very, very helpful. You just take them and you brush your brows up, and then you're going to take your brush with the product on it and you're just going to line the bottom of the eyebrow, and that will help you get a guideline. And then you can just fill in any areas that are a little empty. And you don't have to go all out at this part. This is very optional. You do not have to do this part. Some girls can just skip this part entirely. It's not a necessary step for them. And then going in with that spoolie again, you can blend everything out to make it look less sharp and harsh. And then going in with the other eyebrow, doing the same thing. Lining the bottom of the eyebrow to give it definition. And then filling any areas that are a little bit empty. And then again, just going in with that spoolie and getting any harsh lines out. And then our eyebrows are done. The next step will be to do your lips. I would recommend a color that is matte, which means it dries, not glossy, but like dry to the touch. And I'm going to be using, you should be using a soft pink color, so like a lighter pink. I'm just going to apply that. So when this color dries, it will be dry instead of glossy, which will help it stay on all performance. And then we are pretty much done. You can take other steps, like you could take a highlighter, which is just a sparkly type of eyeshadow type thing, and you can apply it to the places where you want the light to hit, like in this zone here, and on the tip of your nose, and the Cupid's bow. But again, this is optional, and you want to make sure that if you do take this step, you blend it in so there's no harsh lines. And with that, we are done. So this is the completed stage makeup look. You want to make sure that everything is blended and you don't have any harsh lines, or else you will look silly on stage. But this should not be a cause for stress. Just do what makes you look good and make sure that you just are confident and everything will be good. So good luck, girls.